Looks like we've lost that connection with Gaurav Bhatia, but the BJP is claiming that this is a big vindication. And they're also lashing out the opposition, saying stop raking up the 2002 Gujarat riots now to target Prime Minister Modi because the Supreme Court has now given him a clean chit in this matter. I'm slipping into a short break here on India Today. We're going to continue getting you all the reactions on that story and, of course, all the big updates, big news breaks coming in on the Maharashtra political pot boiler. Gaurav Sawant joining you with all of that and the headlines in just a bit.
The men and women who built Indian industry, and the young guns who are shaping tomorrow's India. From storied careers to unicorn dreams, the past meets the future on the Business Today show with Udayan Mukherjee.
We know that plastic causes pollution, but did you know microplastics can also be a cause of pollution? Microplastics are plastic particles with dimensions less than 5 millimeters. Some are so small, they are invisible to the naked eye. Nylon and polyethylene, for example, are mixture of polymers and additives, are themselves microplastics created from tiny pellets known as nurdles. These elements are found in everyday products like shower gels and cosmetics, as well as fertilizers, detergents, and paint. Another major source of this pollution is car tire wear. Difficult to filter, these microplastics get everywhere, in rivers and then the oceans, on land or in the air we breathe. Billions of items of plastic waste taking hundreds of years to break down litter beaches all around the world. All living species in the oceans that are part of the human food chain, from zooplankton to whales, are likely to ingest microplastics. The impact of microplastics on organisms or on ecosystems is unknown, but the additives they contain are potential chemical contaminants.
Sun. We depend on it for energy and light, but solar flares from the sun could be deadly. Are you confused and don't understand what this means? Don't you worry, we have it covered. A massive solar flare erupted from Earth's star as it got active in its new cycle. A sunspot exploded and produced flares which lasted for 8 hours. The event led to a shortwave radio blackout for 8 hours over Japan and Southeast Asia. Before we get into the technicalities of what caused this, let's learn about solar flares. A solar flare is an intense, localized eruption of electromagnetic radiation in the sun's atmosphere. Its occurrence will disrupt radio signals. The occurrence of solar flare also varies upon 11-year cycle. The solar flare unleashed superheated plasma from the sun, powering them at speeds ranging in millions of kilometers per hour. The growing sunspot AR3032 exploded, producing M3 class flares that lasted nearly 8 hours. It hurled towards the inner planets, including Earth, ionized the top of the atmosphere with the extreme ultraviolet radiation released from the sun. Geomagnetic storms are a major disturbance of Earth's magnetosphere that occurs when there is a very efficient exchange of energy from the solar wind into the space environment surrounding Earth.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. India's #1 political reporter.
Defines what seems to be happening, vendetta politics. कोई दूध के से धुला हुआ नहीं है.
Unmatched eye, unmatched experience.
The world has changed. My black hair has become grey as well.
And with unmatched passion for the story.
Do not monopolize the conversation.
When it's 100% pure prime time. It's News Today with Rajdeep Sardesai. Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Only on India Today TV. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Everyone's busy finding what's trending. You're busy finding out why. India Today for those who research before reacting. Download the India Today app now. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
You are watching India Today. You are watching India Today.
One more rebel Shiv Sena MLA seems to be heading towards Guwahati. The Eknath Shinde Sena numbers are swelling. Is this then endgame Uddhav Thackeray? Morning, I'm Gaurav Sawant. We will get to the latest, but first as always, let's get started with the headlines at 11. Rebel Sena MLA Eknath Shinde speaks to India Today, claims support of more than 50 MLAs, says he will come to Mumbai and meet the governor soon. Uddhav Sena seeks disqualification of the 12 rebel MLAs. Shinde camp hits back, says they are the real Shiv Sena, shoots off a letter to Deputy Speaker and Governor with 37 signatures. Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut slams the BJP for threatening NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar, warns rebel Shinde that Shiv Sena workers are yet to hit the streets. Uddhav Sena's biggest offer to the Shinde camp, Sena ready to exit the Mahavikas Aghadi government if the rebels return to the party fold. NDA nominee for President Draupadi Murmu to file her nomination papers in a short while from now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says her nomination has been appreciated across the country. Supreme Court upholds clean chit to Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the 2002 Gujarat Riots case. The Apex Court says the plea filed by Zakia Jafri is devoid of merit. BJP says this is vindication. News just coming in. Shiv Sena Member of Parliament Sanjay Raut will meet Sharad Pawar, the NCP Supremo, in a short while from now. Sanjay Raut had yesterday claimed if rebels come back to the party fold, the Shiv Sena is ready to quit the Mahavikas Aghadi. At the same time, Sanjay Raut also claimed that Sharad Pawar is being threatened. The question remains, who is threatening Sharad Pawar and how? This is a major allegation that is being leveled by Sanjay Raut. Now, there appears to be a carrot and stick policy that Uddhav Sena is following towards the rebels, while Eknath Shinde camp claims they have the support of more than 50 Shiv Sena leaders. The situation is still not clear, with the Shiv Sena demanding the disqualification of 12. I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Paras Dama joining us live from Devendra Fadnavis's residence in Mumbai. Paras, we are told Sanjay Raut is coming to meet Sharad Pawar. What is this meeting all about? Point 1. Point 2, give us details of this threat to Sharad Pawar. What kind of a threat is Sharad Pawar facing?
Gaurav, this is a very critical situation for MVA government right now in Maharashtra, and that's why the discussion will take place. And we had seen the important high-level meeting has been taken by NCP Supremo from last 2 days, and the Congress people also, and Shiv Sena also. And today also Sanjay Raut will go and meet Sharad Pawar, because before time Sanjay Raut took a press conference, and inside the press conference he said that there has been some threat given to Sharad NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar, and it has been given by some of leader in Bharatiya Janata Party. So this will be the major talk point of the meeting, and other will be the political scenario which has been in Maharashtra from last so many days. Now the main thing is that whenever MVA government was in problem, Sharad Pawar was a person who has made all this thing, probably all the things very much soft for everyone when there was a trouble for MVA government. And I think so this will be also a major point of talk when Sanjay Raut will go to meet NCP Supremo. Now the major thing is that how to solve this problem, because on a PowerPoint there is Eknath Shinde who is claiming that he has more than 50 MLAs on his side. On the other hand, Sanjay Raut is also saying that we are in connection with some of the MLAs which is in Guwahati. Yesterday Sanjay Raut took a press conference, and he just presented 2 MLAs over there that had said in the press conference that they were been kidnapped by the someone, and they were took to Guwahati. So now situation is very critical, and they need to speak about it to Sharad Pawar.
Paras, stay with me for a moment. We heard what Nitin Deshmukh and Mr. Patil had to say about that alleged abduction and being taken to Surat. But high political drama in Maharashtra, it actually continues to escalate, tearing into the BJP over this political crisis. Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut has said that the BJP is now making, and I quote, below the belt remarks against the NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar and threatening him. He said that the process was underway to disqualify 12 MLAs of the Eknath Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena, and that their numbers are only on paper. Sanjay Raut then went on to say that the fight is over numbers, papers, and actually in a way, is this a threat? Because he said the fight would be on the streets and that the Shiv Sena would win all 3. The fight on numbers, on paper, and on streets, because he made it very clear that Shiv Sena workers have still not taken to the streets. Meanwhile, Sanjay Raut will be meeting Sharad Pawar in a short while from now. In the light of these latest developments, Shiv Sena has called an emergency meeting of councillors of the Mumbai Municipal Corporation to prevent them from switching loyalties to Eknath Shinde. The crucial huddle will be held at the Shiv Sena Bhavan later this evening.
सरकार कब बनेगी ये लोगों की जो बोल रहे हैं मुझे मालूम नहीं, बनेगी भी या नहीं बनेगी उस बारे में कोई बोल नहीं सकता है। धमकियां देने का काम चल रहा है माननीय पवार साहब को, अगर ये सरकार को बचाएंगे तो देख लेंगे। ये केंद्रीय मंत्री बोल रहा है रास्ते की लड़ाई रास्ते पर सड़क पर हो सकती है, हो जाएगी। अब तक शिवसैनिक सड़क पर नहीं उतरे हैं, चाहे कितने भी लोगों को आप खरीद लो, दबाव डालो, लेकिन कानून की लड़ाई, कागज़ की लड़ाई और सड़क की लड़ाई दोनों में हम जीत जाएंगे। अब ये लड़ाई जो है ये कानूनी लड़ाई हो जाएगी, लेजिस्लेटिव लड़ाई हो जाएगी। हमारे लोगों ने 12 विधायक जो है जिसने बगावत की भाषा की है उनके खिलाफ एक्शन लेने की शुरुआत की है। उनको डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन के लिए हमारे लोग सभापति महोदय के पास गए हैं।
This is a very important statement that's being made by Sanjay Raut. He's saying कानूनी लड़ाई है, कागज की लड़ाई है और सड़क की लड़ाई है। सड़क की लड़ाई, the Shiv Sena or Shiv Senics are yet to take to the streets, and this is where it actually sounds perhaps even dangerous. But what will happen on grounds, it remains to be seen. But amidst this maha political drama, India Today spoke exclusively to rebel leader Eknath Shinde. He insists he has support of more than 50 MLAs. He slammed Uddhav Thackeray for this disqualification threat and said he and the rebel MLAs are not scared of the Maharashtra Chief Minister and these threats. Let's listen in to that exclusive conversation.
सबसे पहला सवाल तो यही है कि कल 12 डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन के पिटिशंस फाइल किए गए हैं शिवसेना के तरफ से। इन पिटिशंस को देखते हुए आपका आगे का रवैया क्या रहेगा?
देखिए, पहली बात है, ये ऐसा पिटिशन करने का अधिकार उनको नहीं है, क्योंकि जो उन्होंने गठनेता चेंज किया है वो उसके लिए गठनेता चेंज करने के लिए पूरे सभी विधायक जो है उनकी मीटिंग बुलानी पड़ती है और मेजोरिटी से गठनेता तय किया जाता है। वो एक तो इलीगल गठनेता बनाया है, इसका मतलब व्हिप भी इलीगल है और माइनॉरिटी में जो लोग हैं उसको कार्रवाई करने का, डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन करने का अधिकार ही नहीं है और मीटिंग अटेंड करने के लिए नहीं किया, इसके लिए डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन नोटिस देने का कोई अधिकार नहीं। ये सिर्फ डराने की बात है, ये डराने की चेष्टा है और इसलिए ये शिवसेना के जितने हमारे पास एमएलए है, निर्दलीय है, उन्होंने कहा है कि ऐसी एक नोटिस नहीं 10 नोटिस आएंगे तो भी हम लोग डरने वाले नहीं, क्योंकि आप कार्रवाई करने का अधिकार ही नहीं है।
दूसरा ये कल इन्होंने कहा कि जो डिप्टी स्पीकर है उन्होंने हमसे बात करते हुए कहा कि आपके जो हस्ताक्षर है उस पर उनको संदेह है और इसके वजह से आपका दावा वो सुनने को तैयार नहीं है। क्या आपको लगता है कि एनसीपी इसमें आपको अपना गुट बनाने से रोकने की कोशिश कर रही है और इसके वजह से आपका गुट ना बन पाए?
ऐसा हमारा 37 का गुट और बाकी निर्दलीय मिलकर गुट बनाने, ग्रुप बनाने से हमको कोई रोक नहीं सकता है। देश में डेमोक्रेसी है, कानून है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है, रूल्स है, इसको तो कोई तोड़ नहीं सकता है और इसलिए ये सिर्फ प्रेशर टैक्टिस है। इसमें वो लोग कामयाब नहीं होंगे क्योंकि हमारे लोग पूरी तरह एकजुट है, हमारे लोगों ने पूरी तरह सोच समझ के ये स्टैंड लिया हुआ है।
क्या अभी आप गवर्नर को कहेंगे कि वोट ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस होना चाहिए महाराष्ट्र में, क्योंकि उद्धव ठाकरे की सरकार बहुमत खो चुकी है? इसके तहत गवर्नर से भी इसके बारे में बात की जाएगी, राज्यपाल से बात की जाएगी?
अभी हमारी बैठक होने के बाद ही आगे की रणनीति तय हो जाएगी।
आप कल हमने सुना कि शरद पवार की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस आपने शायद सुनी होगी, उन्होंने कहा कि जो बगावत करने वाले हैं उनको भुगतना पड़ेगा उसका नतीजा। पवार कह रहे हैं कि अभी भी आपके खेमे में कुछ ऐसे लोग हैं कि जो उद्धव ठाकरे से संपर्क में हैं और आपकी बगावत पर उन्होंने सवाल उठाए हैं कि बीजेपी का समर्थन है आपके बगावत को।
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं, हमारे से बीजेपी की कोई संपर्क नहीं है और पवार साहब हमारे लिए बड़े नेता है महाविकास आघाड़ी में, उनके मार्गदर्शन में महाविकास आघाड़ी काम कर रही है और मेरे लिए पवार साहब भी आदरणीय व्यक्तिमत्व है। अभी उनकी बात उन्होंने कही है, लेकिन मैं इतना ही कहूंगा कि जो विधायक है पूरी तरह स्वेच्छा से अपनी मर्जी से आए, वैसा उन्होंने एफिडेविट भी यहाँ पर दिया हुआ है।
So Sahil Joshi there in exclusive conversation with Eknath Shinde. I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Paulami Saha joining us live from the Radisson Blu Hotel in Guwahati. And in a way, you're at the epicenter of this entire crisis, as the Shiv Sena would say, where Eknath Shinde insists that they will not come under pressure of Uddhav Thackeray, Sanjay Raut and also Arvind Sawant. But give us details. He claims he has the support of 50 MLAs. Does he actually have this kind of support on ground, Paulami?
Well, on paper, at least he has the support of 46 MLAs. That's the exact number which is in fact present inside the Radisson Blu Hotel in Guwahati as we speak right now. Of course, Eknath Shinde is claiming that he has the support of 50 MLAs. We are, of course, waiting to see if those numbers in fact swell. We do expect that there is one, of course, MLA of the Shiv Sena who's en route from Surat to Guwahati already. That is Dilip Lande. So there is obviously, there is expected to be some sort of increase in the numbers over here, but it is going to be a big challenge for Eknath Shinde to keep the flock together, because the more he stakes it out in Guwahati, the more that flock could grow restless. They might want to go for the kill, they might want to take certain concrete steps, because the fact is that the Shiv Sena is not sitting by and watching anymore. The Shiv Sena is proceeding with taking action. The Shiv Sena has already given a notice for disqualification of 12 MLAs, and that petition is before the Deputy Speaker. And as per my colleague Ritwik, who's reporting from Mumbai, it is expected that as per procedure, the Deputy Speaker will set a date and time for these legislators, these 12 MLAs, which includes Mr. Eknath Shinde, to come to Mumbai and, of course, present their position, because that's protocol. He's received a challenge towards their, their membership of the Legislative Assembly, and he has to, of course, seek their response concerning the same as well. So he is possibly going to set a date and time, and if they don't reach there, then again he'll have to possibly proceed with these disqualification proceedings. So it's going to be a very tricky situation, and of course it's turned into this game, which is of course going ball by ball right now, Gaurav, and everyone's watching for what's going to be the next move now, especially from the Eknath Shinde camp. They have put out a thread. Eknath Shinde has said that, the 10th schedule of the Constitution says that...
Stay with me. Key Sanjay Raut Sharad Pawar meeting is underway. Sanjay Raut has reached the YV Chavan Center, and this is where this meeting is taking place. Raut has reached the YV Chavan Stadium for this meeting, but what is extremely critical is what Sanjay Raut intends to say at this very crucial meeting. In this meeting, is there a conversation? And watch that. In this meeting is the Shiv Sena announcing that they are quitting the Maha Vikas Aghadi. That's extremely crucial because yesterday Sanjay Raut had given this indication. If majority of the Shiv Senics want to quit, then they are happy, they are willing to consider quitting. And is there no alternative now left to quitting this meeting? I quickly want to cut across to my colleague Ashutosh Mishra for more on this story. And Ashutosh, is the writing on the wall that Uddhav Thackeray buckles under pressure of the 50 plus rebels, as Eknath Shinde claims, and are they quitting the Maha Vikas Aghadi?
Well, in one perspective, of course, there's a pressure since the government is falling, and just we know we were right behind Sharad Pawar. He just reached Sanjay Raut is meeting, so the meeting is really gonna critical. But remember, beyond this, there are another perspective that need to be seen. That it was Sharad Pawar who stepped in on the front foot yesterday, coming out doing a press conference, and they said how tall he's standing with the Maha Vikas Aghadi alliance. And within that meeting, where all the meeting with the NCP leaders happening, Arvind Sawant came, from the back door, and this certain meeting happened. And right after Sharad Pawar's press conference, if you remember, the story came out, the news break came out that how the Shiv Sena is mulling disqualification of 12 rebel MLAs, and that letter has been sent to the Deputy Speaker. So it is a strategy again being developed, and it is all goes credit to the Sharad Pawar, who has come to the rescue to Maha Vikas Aghadi. What Sanjay Raut said wasn't an indication that they're gonna quit Maha Vikas Aghadi, but it was an emotional appeal that all the MLAs come out. And remember, Uddhav Thackeray even said, come out and speak. If you want to change Chief Minister, we will change it. Come out, come to Mumbai, speak to me. If you want me to resign, I'll resign. And that's exactly what's said by Sanjay Raut, that if you want all of us to quit Maha Vikas Aghadi, come to Mumbai, speak to the Thackeray, and then let's take decisions. And had there been any indication of Shiv Sena quitting Maha Vikas Aghadi alliance, Arvind Sawant would not have reached the Yashwantrao Chauhan Center, where the Sharad Pawar was holding meeting with the NCP MLAs. Had the case that Shiv Sena is quitting the alliance, Sanjay Raut would not have come now to meet Sharad Pawar as YS Chauhan Center. A lot of being planned, but now since what we know, that Sharad Pawar is on the front foot, and everyone is just in the situation of wait and watch, because ultimately the final, all the acts will be done by Eknath Shinde. He has to come to Mumbai, because it's about number, it is about the legislature procedures, and for that he has to come to Mumbai.
And Sharad Pawar made that very clear. He has to prove numbers on the floor of the House. Some seem to indicate that Sharad Pawar is actually calling the shots, telling Uddhav Thackeray to take a hard line on the rebel MLAs of the Shiv Sena. So is Sharad Pawar actually dictating terms to Uddhav Thackeray on what he needs to do with his party MLAs? All eyes now on the Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray's next move. The speculation is rife that he may think, or he may talk about quitting the Maha Vikas Aghadi to save his party. Uddhav Thackeray's allies have thrown their weight behind the Shiv Sena Supremo as of now. We bring you more in this report.
Will he or won't he That is the big question right now. Now that Shinde Sena has managed to get at least 37 of Uddhav's MLAs to Guwahati, the collapse of the Ghadi government is imminent. So will Uddhav pull out of Mahavikas Aghadi to save his father's legacy? Shinde has made it clear the only way to save the Shiv Sena is to break its alliance with the NCP and Congress. Speculation is rife after Sanjay Raut's dramatic statement.
अगर वो चाहते हैं कि महाविकास आघाड़ी से हमको बाहर जाना है तो ये बहाना है, ये बात अब हमारे सामने आकर भी कह सकते हो।
In Mumbai, there was a full meltdown with NCP and Congress scrambling to recalibrate. The NCP has thrown its weight firmly behind Uddhav Thackeray.
विधानसभा में जब फ्लोर टेस्ट हो जाएगी तो पता लगेगा कि ये सरकार मेजॉरिटी में है।
सर्वांनी एकमुखाने उद्धवजी ठाकरे साहेबांच्या बरोबर राहावं आणि त्यांना हे सरकार टिकवण्यासाठी प्रयत्न करावेत, त्यांनी प्रयत्न करावेत, आम्ही त्यांना आवश्यक ती मदत करावी.
Congress has adopted a wait and watch policy, but it maintains that it will abide by Uddhav's call.
कि पार्टी अंतर्गत जो सत्ता संघर्ष शुरू हो गया है उसमें हम महाविकास आघाड़ी के साथ है. अगर मुख्यमंत्री जी को नहीं रहना है और दूसरे किसी उनके पार्टी के किसी को बनाना है तो उनकी सोच है.
Aghadi allies have put the ball entirely in Uddhav's court.
विधायकों को बहुत दफा ज्यादा से मेजॉरिटी विधायकों का कुछ कहना हो तो पार्टी उनका सुनती है.
जो संजय राउत कह रहे हैं जी, वो बात अगर सही है, उस रास्ते पर वो जाना चाहते हैं तो वो हमारे नेता पवार साहब के साथ बातचीत करें.
Will a cornered Uddhav Thackeray crumble or can he pull off a face saver? Bureau Report, India Today.
The fact remains Uddhav Thackeray is cornered. He's outnumbered, with Eknath Shinde claiming the support of more than 50 MLAs. In fact, news is he's not only claiming support of MLAs but also MLCs. He's reaching out to MPs, he's reaching out to corporators, and there may be a massive split in the Shiv Sena if the situation is not contained. That's the information, and we'll get you much more on this big story. India Today spoke exclusively to Eknath Shinde. He insists he has the support of more than 50 MLAs. He slammed Uddhav Thackeray over this disqualification threat and said he knows the law, he will not buckle under pressure, and they are not scared of what he calls are empty threats. Let's listen in.
शिंदे साहब, जानना चाहेंगे, जिस तरह से कल से हम देख रहे हैं कि आपके तेवर तीखे हो गए हैं. आपने कल एक खत लिखा था, ट्वीट किया था कि हम आपकी धमकियों से डरते नहीं हैं, और अब एक खत भी भेजा है आपने जिसमें 37 विधायकों की सिग्नेचर है, और आपका ये दावा है कि आपका ही जो ग्रुप है शिवसेना का वही असली है. क्या बताएंगे शिंदे साहब?
नहीं, देखिए, लोकशाही में, डेमोक्रेसी में एक नंबर्स और मेजॉरिटी को बहुत इम्पोर्टेंस होता है, और वो हमारे पास में है. यहाँ पर जितने आवश्यकता है उससे कई ज़्यादा लोग यहाँ पर है. 50+ हमारे साथ में MLAs हैं, और इसलिए जो भी होगा कानून के मुताबिक होगा, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के मुताबिक होगा, और इसलिए यहाँ पर हम लोग यहाँ पर हैं, और आगे की रणनीति हम लोग अभी बैठक के बाद तय कर लेंगे. और इसमें हम लोग को ये नोटिस से किसको डर लगने की आवश्यकता नहीं. हमारे सब लोग तैयार है. उन्होंने कहा है ये इलीगल नोटिस देके डराने से हम लोग डरने वाले नहीं. ऐसे एक नोटिस आया तो 10 नोटिस आए. ये जो गलत है गलत है, और ये तो पैरों तले जमीन खिसक रही है. इसलिए ऐसे नोटिस जिनको जो माइनॉरिटी में है, जो माइनॉरिटी में, वो कैसे डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन कर सकते हैं. और दूसरी बात है, जो मिट्टी बैठक अटेंड नहीं किया तो डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन. ये कौन सी, ये दुनिया में पहला एक एग्जांपल हो सकता है. तो ऐसा कुछ भी कर नहीं सकते.
शिंदे साहब
करे तो इलीगल हो जाए।
नहीं, आपने कल ये आपके 12 एमएलएस को आपके साथ जो है उन्हें डिस्क्वालीफाई करने की नोटिस दिया जिसमें आपका भी नाम है, तो इसके बारे में क्या कहेंगे? सिर्फ 12 लोगों को एक तो दी गई है और जिसमें आपका और नए प्रतोद भरत गोगावले का भी नाम है।
मैंने अभी कहा है कि ये पूरी तरह इलीगल है, क्योंकि ऐसा माइनॉरिटी में जो है उनको अधिकार नहीं होता है। और जो गट नेता चेंज किया गया, मेरे को चेंज किया, तो उसके लिए भी मेजोरिटी होनी पड़ती है। सब विधायक जो है उनकी बैठक लेनी पड़ती है और मेजोरिटी से गट नेता चेंज कर सकते हैं। वो भी इलीगल किया है, इसलिए वो नोटिस, वो पिटीशन ही इलीगल है।
शिंदे साहब, आप मुंबई कब आएंगे? इन सब मुद्दों को लेकर सब लोग यही चीज़ को लेकर अटकलें लगा रहे हैं कि मुंबई कब आएंगे, गवर्नर से मिलेंगे? अपने खत में गवर्नर को हाँ
जल्दी आएंगे।
कल एक बात और कही थी आपने कि आपके साथ एक राष्ट्रीय पार्टी है, आपकी किसी को किसी के डरने की जरूरत नहीं है। क्या कोई राष्ट्रीय पार्टी, ये कौन सी है और कौन संपर्क में, क्या बता पाएंगे?
मैंने कहा था कि हमारे साथ में एक आशीर्वाद है, महाशक्ति है, हमारे बाला साहब ठाकरे जी की महाशक्ति जो हमारे साथ है, हमारे आनंद ये सब की शक्ति है और हमें कोई डरने की जरूरत नहीं।
शिंदे साहब, तो आप अपने आप को अलग शिवसेना गुट के तौर पर अभी पेश करेंगे या आप अभी अपने आप को असली शिवसेना मानते हैं?
नहीं, अभी तो हम लोग तो कल भी हम बाला साहब ठाकरे जी के सैनिक थे, आज भी है, कल भी रहेंगे।
लेकिन क्या फिर अभी
बाला साहब ठाकरे जी की जो आइडियोलॉजी है, उनकी भूमिका है, उसे ही हम लोग आगे लेके जाना चाहते हैं।
गवर्नर से मिलेंगे, आपके आंकड़ों की परेड की जाएगी?
वो आगे की बात है, बैठक के बाद तय करेंगे।
लेकिन कितने जल्द हम देख सकते हैं इस पर आगे की आपकी रणनीति?
जल्द ही बताएंगे।
क्या आपके अगर इन 12 को डिस्क्वालीफाई किया गया तो?
ऐसा कर ही नहीं सकते। ये कानून व्यवस्था है, देश की कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के खिलाफ में ऐसा कोई भी कदम किसी को उठाने का अधिकार नहीं है।
शिंदे साहब, एक व्यक्तिगत सवाल पूछना चाहूँगा। इसके पहले जब भी पार्टी पर संकट आता था तो खुद अब एकनाथ शिंदे ने हमने देखा है कि वो पहाड़ बनकर खड़े होते थे सामने। इस वक्त आप ही को पार्टी से जूझना पड़ रहा है। व्यक्तिगत तौर पर कितना आपके लिए ये अनुभव कैसा है? दुखद है और या कैसा है?
ये अनुभव तो दुखद अच्छा नहीं है, निश्चित रूप से दुखद है, लेकिन अभी पार्टी के जितने भी एमएलए हैं उनको तकलीफ थी, उनकी भावना थी, उनकी अड़चने थी, उनको कई समस्या थी, तो उन्होंने ये सब कदम उठाया। मेरे लिए, मेरे स्वार्थ के लिए या मुझे कुछ पद चाहिए इसलिए ऐसा कोई हम लोग ने स्टैंड नहीं लिया है। लेकिन जब एमएलए लोगों की जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में अगर कोई काम नहीं होता है या उनके ऊपर अन्याय होता है, तो अन्याय के खिलाफ लड़ने की सीख जो है हमारे को बाला साहब ठाकरे जी ने दी है।
शिवसेना की तरफ से 2 ऑफर आपको दिए गए थे। उद्धव ठाकरे कह रहे थे मुख्यमंत्री पद छोड़ने को तैयार है, कल संजय राउत कह रहे थे कि हम महाविकास आघाड़ी से बाहर निकलने को तैयार है। क्या दोनों शर्तें आपको थोड़ी भी मंजूर रहेगी या बिल्कुल नामंजूर है?
नहीं, अभी देखिए, अभी हम लोग तो यहाँ पर है, हम लोग अभी बैठक करेंगे, बैठक करने के बाद ही आगे की रणनीति तय करेंगे।
जी, शुक्रिया शिंदे साहब।
थैंक यू, धन्यवाद।
India Today has the biggest team of reporters on ground from Guwahati in the east to Mumbai in the west, getting you all aspects of this big story. I quickly want to cut across to Paras Dama joining us from Mumbai. I also have Polami Saha with me from Guwahati. And Paras, clearly the rebel Sena is not backing down. Eknath Shinde is very clear. He has the numbers. The actions that Uddhav Sena has taken, according to him, are illegal and in violation of law. So this clearly will either be addressed on the floor of the House or in courts of law.
Of course, Gaurav. This is a situation where the man in power is Eknath Shinde. Eknath Shinde have numbers, and that's why he's so confident that nothing will happen to him right now in a situation where there is so much happening in the Maharashtra politics and Mumbai. So, on another side, Uddhav Thackeray is on a verge of problems that is not, he's not getting out of any of his problem. He has just urged people, the MLAs a few days ago on a Facebook Live that if you want to talk, just come and talk to me. I'll solve the problem. If you don't want me as a CM, I'll also quit, but come and face me. But on the other hand, I can see that Eknath Shinde is not backing out. Eknath Shinde is very much confident that he have MLAs on his side. He is claiming that he has more than 50 MLAs, and that's the main thing which is going to create problem for MVA government. On the other hand, if we talk about Sanjay Raut and NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar is taking a meeting. I'll just take you to the live visuals, Gaurav.
Yes.
We are at the Devendra Fadnavis house, and you can see continuously MLAs are reaching Devendra Fadnavis house. Ashish Shelar, the senior BJP leader, is also inside. Devendra Fadnavis is also inside. This may be a small meeting to just discuss the situation what is happening in Maharashtra and Mumbai. There will Devendra Fadnavis, we had seen he's just traveling to Delhi from a few days. He's back in Mumbai and he's inside, and there is a small meeting going around. What will be the topics? This is very important because the situation is very tense in Maharashtra. Devendra Fadnavis, on the other hand, he's traveling to Delhi. He's taking meetings. He's going to attend meetings. A lot of things happening in Maharashtra politics right now, Gaurav.
In fact, whether it's the Shiv Sena or the NCP or the Congress polemi, they're all blaming the Bharatiya Janata Party. They're saying it's the BJP that's orchestrating this entire tamasha in the Mahavikas Aghadi and engineering a split. But as of now, Eknath Shinde has clarified the Mahashakti he referred to. He's clarified to Kamlesh Sutar, saying that this Mahashakti is Bala Saheb Thackeray's blessings and not the BJP.
Well, he also said national party, so he didn't quite clarify on that aspect of it. He did say a national party, a superpower, a Mahashakti. So he just clarified on the Mahashakti part. I don't think that Balasaheb Thackeray or Anand Dikhe could be referred to as national parties. So it is definitely something which, of course, remains in the realm of speculation as we speak right now, Gaurav. The fact is that he is, of course, biding his time in order to see what exactly are the numbers like in his favor. He's still waiting for some more MLAs to join him on board over here in Guwahati. We do expect at least one MLA to arrive here very shortly. Dilip Lande, who's on his way already from Surat. He is on his way to Guwahati. He is the MLA from Chandivli in Mumbai, and he is going to join, in fact, the ranks of Eknath Shinde, which will take the numbers of the Shiv Sena MLAs here in Guwahati to 38, and then the total figure to 47. We do believe, of course, that he wants to reach the figure 50. He's already claiming that he has the support of 50 MLAs. That could be possibly counting others he's expecting to come down to Guwahati or who are already extending their support to him in Mumbai. But obviously, the actual figures, the actual numbers is what is going to matter eventually when he goes to the deputy speaker or even the governor. And what still remains to be seen, Gaurav, is the fact is whether he will in fact if and when the deputy speaker summons him and his colleagues to come before him in order to present their position vis-a-vis the notices which have been issued to the 12 rebel MLAs, does he and the others go down, and what will be their position? Because if they don't, then the deputy speaker may well proceed with the disqualification proceedings.
Okay, of course, Eknath Shinde clarifying there that he would be travelling to Mumbai shortly. But when will that shortly be remains to be seen. This political tussle continues to unravel in Maharashtra and in Guwahati. Uddhav Thackeray has actually been put in a corner as the Shinde faction continues to increase their numbers. Shinde's numbers continue to swell as Polemi was just reporting. So far, the information we had was 37 Shiv Sena MLAs, 9 independent MLAs, and they've taken the total tally to 46. Now we are being told, Polemi was just reporting that some other leaders are likely to reach Guwahati, and this number could actually touch/cross the 50 mark as claimed by Eknath Shinde. Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, he's thrown another gambit. He's threatened to disqualify Shiv Sena MLAs who failed to show up at this meeting. And of course, as of now, 12 of them, including Eknath Shinde. But Eknath Shinde has hit back saying that they will not come under pressure. The Chief Minister's actions or the party's actions are illegal and bad in law. He actually warned the Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray that such threats will not work with Shiv Senics, will not work with the leaders who are in Guwahati, because they have the numbers on their side. The Shiv Sena legislature party meeting took place in Guwahati yesterday. Eknath Shinde was appointed as the legislature party leader. Bharat Gugavle was appointed the chief whip. Copy of that letter with signatures of 37 Shiv Sena MLAs has now been sent to the Speaker Narhari Zirwal, Legislative Secretary and Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari. All eyes now on Uddhav Thackeray's next move. So we will get you much more on this big story, but in an exclusive conversation with India Today, rebel MLA Deepak Kesarkar, in fact Deepak Kesarkar and Bharat Gogavle, who are now in Guwahati in the Eknath Shinde camp, they've talked about their next course of action. Let's listen in.
सरकार जी कितने विधायक हैं अभी शिंदे कैंप में गुवाहाटी में?
We have already applied for a separate group, so we have sufficient number for making the application. So it is obvious that.
So 37 plus, you have Shiv Sena MLAs alone.
Yes.
What's your reaction, sir, to Uddhav Thackeray now, the Uddhav Sena as they're being referred to, seeking the disqualification of Shiv Sena MLAs who are with Eknath Shinde?
How they could disqualify? Basically, for not being present for a meeting cannot be a cause for disqualification. If you vote against the party, in spite of the will, that is one thing. Second thing, when you issue a notice to somebody, there is always principle of natural justice. You will have to give them a hearing, and after that you can take any action, and that action is to be also taken by the chairperson of Vidhan Sabha, that is Legislative Assembly.
So in such a circumstance,
these are all tactics to pressurize the MLAs, and I think that they should take appropriate decisions. If they at all, yesterday there was a statement saying that they are going to not going ahead with Maharashtra Mahavikas Agadi anymore.
Yeah.
But that has not come through. These are just announcements.
There's been no communication to you about that.
If they really want to do it, they should have done it, and then things could have moved in different directions.
Is there any communication, Mr. Kesarkar, from Uddhav Thackeray, from the Uddhav Sena to you or to your faction? Is there any communication about how they want to reach out and, kind of consider your conditions?
You'll have to understand one thing, that, talking to everybody, nobody could come to a conclusion, because they will have to talk to Sri Shinde ji, who is the in charge, or who is our leader now.
Okay.
So if they talk to him and if he agrees, then the solution could come through, but not with these methods of putting up pressure. Because MLAs are all matured, they are elected by lakhs of people. So in a proper fashion, had it been happened, then the things could have not come to this level.
हमारे शिंदे साहब है ना, वो कर रहे हैं,
क्या कर रहे हैं,
वो देखा जाएगा,
क्या कर रहे हैं सर,
जो कर रहे हैं कानून का और सबका, तो इसलिए नो टेंशन।
क्या आप लोगों ने क्या किया है? डिप्टी स्पीकर को चिट्ठी में लिखकर क्या कहा है आप लोगों ने?
दे दिया उसको, बोला उसको अधिकार नहीं, उसको बोला बनता नहीं, कुछ नहीं, मीटिंग पे नहीं जाना तो क्या डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन होता है क्या ऐसा?
नहीं, आप लोगों ने जो चिट्ठी लिखी है डिप्टी स्पीकर को, उसमें आप लोगों ने क्या क्या लिखा है?
हमारे मेंबर बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, नो टेंशन।
So the rebel leaders are asking, is not attending a meeting ground for disqualification? They insist this is bad in law. This political tussle in Maharashtra seems to be getting murkier by the hour, and a lot of political reactions across the spectrum. Let's get to the latest.
जो उनके पार्टी अंतर्गत जो सत्ता संघर्ष शुरू हो गया है, उसमें हम महाविकास आघाड़ी के साथ है। अगर मुख्यमंत्री जी को नहीं रहना है और दूसरे किसी उनके पार्टी के किसी को बनाना है, तो उनकी सोच है। ये ईडी का डर बताकर फिर कर्नाटक की सरकार हो, मध्य प्रदेश की सरकार हो, अरुणाचल की सरकार हो, ये सरकार को केंद्रीय यंत्रणा का दुरुपयोग कर केंद्र के बीजेपी सरकार जिस देश की लोकतंत्र को तहस-नहस कर रही है, ये बात सामने आती है।
जिन्होंने उद्धव ठाकरे जी के सत्ता के पूरे बंद कर दिए धंधे, उनका नाम है एकनाथ शिंदे, और एकनाथ शिंदे जी ने ये काम किया है। और ये बाला साहब ठाकरे के सच्चे बंदे, ये तो सब है बाला साहब ठाकरे के सच्चे बंदे। अब वो नहीं रहे अंधे, तो मतलब ये अंधे नहीं रहे, इसीलिए उन्होंने शिवसेना को धक्का दे दिया है, झटका दे दिया है और एक बहुत ही बड़ा निर्णय एकनाथ शिंदे जी ने ले लिया है। शरद पवार महाराष्ट्र के बड़े नेता है, जाने माने नेता है, उनको कोई धमकी नहीं दे सकते। संजय राउत के आरोप में बिल्कुल तथ्य नहीं है, मतलब इसमें बीजेपी का हाथ नहीं।
And this is strike 2 by the Shiv Sena on the Shinde Sena. Uddhav Thackeray's faction of the Shiv Sena has shot off another letter to the Deputy Speaker. The Shiv Sena has sought the disqualification of 4 more rebel leaders in Guwahati. So far they've shot off a letter seeking the disqualification of 12. A letter has gone for 4 more, taking the Shiv Sena request to the Deputy Speaker to disqualify 16 rebel leaders in Guwahati. Of course, the rebel leaders continue to argue that this request for disqualification is illegal and bad in law, and they will challenge it not just in front of the Deputy Speaker but also should the need arise in courts of law. As of now, they are saying that what are the grounds for seeking disqualification? Not attending a meeting, that cannot be grounds for disqualification. Point 1. Point 2. Eknath Shinde told India Today's Sahil Joshi and Kamlesh Sutar that the action taken by Uddhav Thackeray faction is illegal and bad in law. They cannot change the legislature party leader unless all leaders, all MLAs are present. So changing the legislature party leader is illegal, changing the whip is illegal, due process was not followed. The Rebel Sena also claiming that these are pressure and intimidation tactics. They will not be either pressured or intimidated by these tactics being adopted by Uddhav Thackeray faction of the Shiv Sena. Eknath Shinde has made it very clear. He knows the law. He knows the procedures. He says India remains a democracy, and with 37 MLAs in Guwahati, how could the leader be changed? How could the whip be changed? This action of Uddhav Thackeray is illegal. His exact words or words to the effect, he says, उनके पैरों तले जमीन खिसक रही है और इसीलिए वो गलत कार्रवाई कर रहे हैं, वो गलत एक्शन ले रहे हैं. The ground is slipping from beneath Uddhav Thackeray's feet, and the meeting that was held at Matoshree was that the writing on the wall. 37 plus MLAs in Guwahati and only 12 attended that meeting at Matoshree, plus of course Aditya Thackeray. So that would take the number to 13, and that is a point that Eknath Shinde had made throughout. He said only 13 will remain with Uddhav Thackeray. The remaining will actually follow, in his words or his claim, the ideals of Bala Saheb Thackeray, the Hindutva of Bala Saheb Thackeray, claiming that Uddhav Thackeray had moved away from the ideology of his father Bala Saheb Thackeray. That's the claim being made by Eknath Shinde. He also went on to say that these 37 MLAs with him, and that number according to him will go up even further. He's claiming that 42 Shiv Sena MLAs will be a part of the Eknath Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena. I want to cut across to Paras for more on the story. Paras, bring us details. So far, a request had gone for disqualification of 12 MLAs, including Eknath Shinde. 4 more added to this list. Do we know who are these 4 more, and on what basis has the Shiv Sena under Uddhav Thackeray come to this number of first 12 and then 4 more out of the 37 in Guwahati?
Of course, Gaurav, Shiv Sena is trying everything to bring back the things to normal. So that's why now they had added 4 more names to disqualify, because right now what Shiv Sena is saying that they has illegal things which has been done by them, and that is the main thing. That's why they want to disqualify them. On the other hand, they are just saying, on the other hand, Eknath Shinde is saying that he has not done anything wrong. The MLAs which are in Guwahati has not done anything wrong and they are not scared of it. This is just done because they are trying to scare the MLAs who are in Guwahati, the rebel camp which is in Guwahati, and this is the thing Shiv Sena is trying. If they are trying to scare the people who is in Guwahati right now. So this is the last thing that Uddhav Sarkar is trying to play. This is the last chance they are taking. If something happens, if disqualification happens after all the procedures, so then it will be a big blow to Eknath Shinde's rebel camp. But right now, the man in power is Eknath Shinde, Gaurav.
Oh, absolutely. He remains the man in power. And what about at Sagar? What's happening at Sagar, where the Bharatiya Janata Party is holding a series of meetings at Devendra Fadnavis's residence? Are they actually hand-holding the rebel Sena through this entire crisis, as is the allegation leveled by the Mahavikas Aghadi?
Gaurav, this is the third consecutive day where we can see how Devendra Fadnavis and Maharashtra BJP is taking continuous meetings with their MLAs.
Okay, give me a moment. And let's quickly cut across. NDA's nominee Draupadi Murmu is to file her nomination papers. She's in Parliament before she goes to Rashtrapati, before she goes to file her nomination papers. She is with members of Parliament and BJP leaders and ministers. Draupadi Murmu was the governor of Jharkhand. If elected, well, she would be the first person from the tribal community, from the Adivasi community, to be president of India. She is 64 years old. A short while back, we saw images of the Union Law Minister Kiran Rijiju supporting her nomination papers. Draupadi Murmu, incidentally, is a school teacher and a two-term MLA and minister. She was a minister between 2000 and 2004. She also has the unique distinction of being the first governor of Jharkhand to be able to complete her tenure, and this was between 2015 and 21. Incidentally, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he had taken to social media platform Twitter to say that Draupadi Murmu had devoted her entire life in serving society and empowering the poor, the downtrodden and the marginalized. So Gajendra Singh Shekhawat with her as she moves forward towards filing a nomination. The Prime Minister had also said that Draupadi Murmu has rich administrative experience and had an outstanding tenure as the governor. The Prime Minister had said that he is confident that she would end up being a great President of India. Millions of people, and this is where I'm quoting Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he said millions of people who've experienced poverty, faced hardships, they will derive strength from her life. And before she files her nomination papers, that's Draupadi Murmu at the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi's statue outside the Parliament building. The Prime Minister had said that she has a very good understanding of policy matters. She is of a compassionate nature, and that is why she would play a key role and a crucial role in being a good President of India. Incidentally, does the BJP or the BJP and the NDA, do they have the numbers to see her nomination through, to ensure she becomes the President of India? The BJP is very confident. They have the numbers, of course, with the support that's also now being extended by the BJD and the YSRCP. There is also hope that several others would extend support. They may break ranks from the UPA and vote. There may be cross-voting in Draupadi Murmu's favor. That is what analysts say She is the first lady from the tribal community who could be President of India. The numbers game, the BJP is very confident. On their own, they have 49% of the electoral college, about 532, 351 of the 1086, 431 votes in the electoral college. The presidential elections are on the 18th. The BJD, incidentally, with about 31,686 votes, and the YSRCP with another 45,550 votes. We are also told that the AIA-DMK, we are told that the Shiromani Akali Dal, and that's the analysis that several others are also likely to support her, which will see her through the presidential elections without any trouble. The Prime Minister had also said that there was a great response from across the country to Draupadi Murmu's nomination as President of India by the NDA. Yashwant Sinha is the opposition choice, but will opposition unity remain? And this is Draupadi Murmu at Birsa Munda, Bhagwan Birsa Munda's statue. And this is an image of just a short while back of Draupadi Murmu at the statue of the Father of the Nation. The green cover that you see behind is the security barricade, because a new parliament building is also coming up. So Draupadi Murmu there greeting BJP leaders, ministers and MPs as she files her nomination papers. So she has been, and her administrative experience includes being Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Commerce Minister. She joined the BJP in 1997. She was born in Mayurbhanj in Odisha. She was an assistant professor at the Sri Aurobindo Integral Education and Research Institute. Kaun banega president? It is, according to analysts, there will be no trouble for Draupadi Murmu to be past the halfway mark. And I quickly want to cut across to Aishwarya Paliwal joining us live for more on the story. Aishwarya, take us through the process that will be followed from this point on. And as far as the numbers game is concerned, Draupadi Murmu, very comfortable. The NDA will ensure she sails through with the support of BJD, YSRCP and others coming her way.
Well, definitely. Not just that. In fact, the JMM too was one of the parties which had initially supported the opposition candidate, Yashwant Sinha. But now we are seeing they are also giving signals that Draupadi Murmu is the candidate that they will go ahead with. Already the NDA has 48% with them, and with all those parties which are now coming forward. What's very interesting is that some of these parties were initially with the opposition camp, but now after the name was announced, all these parties are now giving their signals, giving the feelers that they will support Draupadi Murmu. And also, this will be a first for someone to be the president from where she comes from. So definitely it will give her an edge. We are also seeing, the strength with which the Bharatiya Janata Party, all the chief ministers are inside. It clearly shows how confident the NDA is that they will be able to make her the president of the country. We will have to wait and watch exactly how the numbers stack up. But at the moment, it looks like Yashwant Sinha will have a very tough fight in this one. Gaurav.
In fact, the opposition had trouble coming together to find a candidate, to find a suitable candidate. Everyone the opposition reached out to seemed to say no. And even when it comes to Yashwant Sinha, the opposition is not united, as you're reporting. The Jharkhand Mukti Morcha in no way, and those are indications as of now, will go with the opposition candidate. They will go for there is no way that they cannot not go with Draupadi Murmu. That's what you're reporting.
Yes, definitely, and that is what it looks like, Gaurav. We did see how there were so many names. Sharad Pawar initially, he said no. Then we also saw Farooq Abdullah. Once his name was floated, he also came ahead and said that he still wants to remain active in politics. He also said no. Then the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, Gopal Krishna Gandhi, also declined the offer. So, if we count, then actually Yashwant Sinha was the fourth choice. And finally, the opposition was able to come up with his name. But hours after Yashwant Sinha's name was floated by the opposition party, we saw Bharatiya Janata Party. In fact, it was a wait and watch for the ruling party. They gave the name only after Yashwant Sinha's name came from the opposition bloc, and it really looks like this will be sort of a comfortable win for the NDA. The numbers already are stacked in their favor. They have almost 48% in their kitty, and when all the some of the opposition parties also, the kind of feelers that we are getting, once they also join hands, then this definitely will be a comfortable win. It will definitely, Gaurav, be a big blow to the opposition, because they were seeing this as something which they wanted to experiment. They want to experiment for 2024 elections, but this is something which clearly at the moment looks like, Gaurav, is not happening. We'll have to wait and watch exactly when the election takes place on the 18th of July what happens, but at the moment, Gaurav, it looks like it will be a comfortable win for Draupadi Murmu.
Because look at how numbers are stacking up. I mean, just on back of the envelope numbers, the BJP between 48 and 49%, 49% with 532, 351 of the 1086, 431 votes. So they on their own are at 49% or close to 49%. The BJD with 31,686. The YSRCP with 45,550. We are told the AIA DMK with 14,940. You're saying the JMM. We are told there are some feelers that are already coming from the Shiromani Akali Dal, from the Bahujan Samaj Party, because the BJP is reaching out to them. The opposition seems to be in a disarray, and overall the indications are it's smooth sailing all the way for Draupadi Murmu.
Well, Gaurav, 27th June is when Yashwant Sinha will come ahead and file. We'll have to wait and watch whether he actually does that, because there are talks there is a possibility that he might also, say no at the last moment. That is also something which the opposition parties are keenly looking at. So if that happens, then, things will really turn around. But at the moment, in terms of numbers, the feelers that the Bharatiya Janata Party is getting from all the parties, it looks like this will be a very comfortable win. Also, we are seeing, the kind of scrambling which took place. We saw all the opposition parties, first of all, they were not able to come together. They were not able to get names, and all the names that came out, one by one, we saw how people were opting out. The possibility of it was because they understood how strong the Bharatiya Janata Party actually was, and that could also be possibly one of the reasons why we saw some of those leaders turning down what the opposition was giving them. And now, 27th June is when Yashwant Sinha will come here, and the election will be held on July 18th. We will see 18th of July, and the results on 21st of July. Gaurav.
Aishwarya Paliwal, for the moment, many thanks for joining me here on this broadcast. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that he believes that she would be an outstanding president, given her background, her compassionate nature, her rich experience in administration. All of that. We'll be tracking the story on the 18th of July very closely. A quick break, back with the headlines and our top stories. Stay with us.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com or call 9999892171.
this testing shows us that there is a vast potential in the commercial use of drones, especially in urban area. And this is a further step of creating an economically viable model.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
You are watching India Today.
Mango, pharma, textiles, cow dung. What's really common in these things? They're all items that India exports. Yes, you heard that right. Along with wheat, cereals, vegetables and more, India is expected to export 192 metric tons of cow dung to Kuwait. But why? Agricultural scientists of Kuwait have found cow dung to be very beneficial in date palm cultivation. This comes in the midst of the Prophet Muhammad controversy. Scientists in Kuwait used cow dung in date palm cultivation and found that it increased the yield. After this, Kuwait decided to import cow dung from India. This is the largest foreign order for cow dung that India has ever received. The orders are being sent from Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. India is the largest producer of cow dung. Now the government is also preparing a strategy to focus on the export of cow dung. The current consignment will be sent from Kanakapura railway station in Rajasthan to Mumbai. From there, the dung will be taken to Kuwait by ship. This consignment has been packed under the supervision of the Customs Department at Sunrise Organic Park at Sri Pinjrapol Gaushala in Jaipur. India has 30 crore cattle and about 30 lakh tons of cow dung is produced. In India, cow dung is mainly used as fuel. Internationally, it is used by Britain and China for producing electricity.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
You are watching in
Good afternoon, you're watching India Today. I'm Gaurav Sawant. We will get you the latest in the tussle for power in Maharashtra. But first, as always, the headlines at 12. Rebel Sena MLA Eknath Shinde speaks exclusively to India Today, claims support of more than 50 MLAs, says they will come to Mumbai and meet the governor soon. Uddhav Sena seeks disqualification of 4 more rebel MLAs, taking the number to 16. Eknath Shinde hits back, says they are the real Shiv Sena, shoots off a letter to Deputy Speaker and Governor with 37 signatures. Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut slams the BJP for threatening the NCP Supremo. Raut-Pawar warns the rebel Sena that Shiv Sena workers are yet to hit the streets. Uddhav Sena's biggest offer to the Shinde camp, Sena ready to exit the Mahavikas Aghadi government if the rebels return home. NDA nominee for President Draupadi Murmu to file her nomination papers shortly. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says her nomination has been appreciated across the country. Supreme Court upholds clean chit to Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the 2002 Gujarat Riots case. The Supreme Court says plea filed by Zakia Jafri is devoid of merit. BJP insists this is vindication. It is Sena versus Sena. The Shiv Sena's Uddhav Sena versus the Eknath Shinde Sena, and the political tussle continues to escalate all the way from Maharashtra in the west to Assam in the east. And India Today is the only channel to get you a 360-degree perspective on this big story and the latest news breaks. Uddhav Thackeray has been cornered. The Shinde Sena continues to claim that their ranks are swelling. Shinde Sena's numbers, according to Eknath Shinde, are now past the 50 mark, including Shiv Sena MLAs and independent MLAs. The information is 37 Shiv Sena MLAs, one more en route, plus 9 independent MLAs. Sources are also telling India Today that this number, and Eknath Shinde is already claiming it, their numbers will cross the 50 mark. He says only 13 will remain at Varsha. The 13 who were there in Matoshree and Varsha, the official residence of the Chief Minister and the ancestral residence of the Chief Minister, only those number of Shiv Sena MLAs will remain with Uddhav Thackeray. He actually warned Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray against threatening the real Shiv Sena, as he calls his faction. He says Uddhav Thackeray is running a government, he does not have the numbers. Shiv Sena, on the other hand, the Uddhav Sena, they filed for disqualification for 4 more rebel MLAs, taking the total number to 16 of the Shinde camp. Now, after going through Shiv Sena's disqualification petition, the Deputy Speaker, he is likely to take the next course of action, and it could well mean issuing a notice to these 16 MLAs. Hear their side of the story, and this incidentally includes Eknath Shinde. Shiv Sena legislature party meeting took place in Guwahati yesterday. Eknath Shinde was appointed the legislature party leader. Bharat Gogavle has been appointed as the chief whip. A copy of the letter with signature of 37 Shiv Sena MLAs has now been sent to the Deputy Speaker Narhari Zirwal, the Legislative Secretary and the Governor of Maharashtra Bhagat Singh Koshyari. All eyes now on Uddhav Thackeray's next move. News just coming in. Shiv Sena's Zilla Pramukhs from across the state are coming to the Shiv Sena Bhavan. These, we are told that Bhaskar More, the Zilla Pramukh from Buldhana, he said that they are in contact with MLAs and all MLAs will return. The present government will remain. That's a major statement that's coming from Bhaskar More. Bhaskar More, incidentally, is the Zilla Pramukh from Buldhana. A Zilla Pramukh has a number of MLAs who work in tandem with him, between 3 and 4 in every district. The present government will remain, is what Bhaskar More is saying as of now. All Zilla Pramukhs from across Maharashtra, Shiv Sena Zilla Pramukhs from across Maharashtra are coming to the Shiv Sena Bhavan. There will be a series of meetings that will be held, and this is intense crisis management that is taking place at the Shiv Sena headquarters, at the Sena Bhavan in Mumbai. And Paras Dama joins me for more on the story. So Paras, bring us details of the crisis management by the Shiv Sena at this point of time, the measures that they are taking, and we'll get Paulami Saha for countermeasures in Guwahati. Paras, take it away.
Gaurav, Shiv Sena will try every card now because they know their situation is very much into danger. The dangerous situation has been created for MVA Sarkar and Uddhav Sarkar also. So now they'll just plan to intact the MLAs that are remaining, that are not rebellions. So they'll just plan systematically what to do and what not to do, because the situation is very much worst for MVA government, because there is nothing left as the situation. We can see in Maharashtra today. Probably 12:30 is the major time where the meeting will take place at Sena Bhavan, where Uddhav will also come, CM Uddhav Thackeray will also come, and he will discuss the plan of action with all the Jilla Adhikaris, which has been called for a meeting. It's a very important meeting because in the meeting he will discuss all the things, all the situation which has happened, and now how to take precautionary measures. Because if number rises, it will create a major problem for the government, and after that, if the number rises like this, which is happening every day we are seeing some 3-4 MLAs going to Guwahati and strengthening Eknath Shinde's camp, rebellion camp. So it may create a thing. So now it's time for the disaster management. So this is the last chance or the last try which has been done by Shiv Sena and Uddhav Sarkar.
Oh, absolutely. 12:30 is when this meeting takes place of all the Zilla Pramukhs. Now, the Zilla Pramukhs, are they reaching out to all the MLAs? 37 plus 1 is the figure that we've been given as of now. 38 in Guwahati. An effort is... Okay, let's quickly cut across. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Parliament. The Prime Minister is accompanying Draupadi Murmu as she files her nomination. We are told that the Union Home Minister will also be there, as will other senior BJP leaders. Kaun banega Rashtrapati, kaun banega President? That's the big question, because the race to Raisina Hill is in top gear, and the BJP, the entire NDA, they've thrown their weight behind Draupadi Murmu. She was Jharkhand governor. Incidentally, another piece of information that's coming in, if elected, she would be the first president to be born post-independence, would also be the first lady who's a tribal to be president of India. She comes from the Adivasi community. India has never had an Adivasi president. She's 64 years old. And these multiple images that you see are of Draupadi Murmu, who's a school teacher. She's been a two-time MLA and minister, and the first governor of Jharkhand, incidentally, to complete her tenure between 2015 and 21. So there she's meeting and greeting, being greeted by BJP MPs, ministers accompanying her as she files her nomination papers. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that she devoted her life to serving society, empowering the poor and the downtrodden and the marginalized. He said that she had rich administrative experience. She'd had an outstanding tenure as the governor. I'm confident she would be a great president. And that's where you're seeing her political. She was made a minister in the BJP coalition government.